I must find the perfect spoon.
Excuse me, I need a spoon.
My spoon is too big.
Spoon with me, dude!
Hi, welcome to the kitchen. This is episode 5, Eating with Ethan. We are the Little Spoon Snatchers. I'm Sam with my co-host Skipster and Logan. And we are joined here by a very special guest, Ethan Wagner.
I'm honored to be here. So
Yeah, pump him up. Let's go. Let's go.
First guest on the show. Ethan, how you feel?
Pretty good. I mean, that's sweet to be the first guest on the show, so I'm hoping by the title of the video we get to eat some food, but if not, then I'm going to be highly disappointed.
Spoiler alert, we do not have food.
All right.
Well, we do have a fun little interview with Ethan. Talk to him, hear about his story, what he's got to share, and then we're going to go into Cream, which Ethan will also be a part of. So it'll be a fun little episode we got for you guys. We're closing out Song of the Week.
Yeah. So we should probably just jump right in.
Well, I guess before we do that, we got to talk about a couple other things.
All right.
A couple house cleaning things here.
Okay, let's talk about
I don't know how your week's been, but we've already talked. You know, last week you were out in Vegas,
Yeah.
and last night on TV, I witnessed the first victory of the Perminator Sam Beal on Impact Wrestling.
You know what we do out here? We're just eating dubs, baby. You can go back and look at that on Impact's YouTube page. It was awesome. It was a great feeling, actually
Pinning Brian Myers.
1, 2, 3, and then everybody, the crowd went crazy. I even got a Sam's Town chant because the place that we wrestle in is Sam's Town. And they're like, "This is Sam's Town, Sam's." It was sweet. It was a really awesome feeling.
My dad was pretty pumped.
It was. I mean, yeah, when we watched it at my house and we had a couple people over and they were into the match and everything, they had no idea, and then all of a sudden. They were, "Oh, you lost," and then they were, "Oh, he kicked out," and then once 1, 2, 3, they went freaking nuts. That was probably the best spine buster I've ever given in my entire career.
Pretty
It was
good spine
amazing.
buster.
And then the sell off of it, and then it was just awesome. All about it. Reno, he loved it. That's his favorite move.
Who?
Reno. That one and only.
I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know who we're talking about here.
Oh, what a guy. Skip, what about you though?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think I've done nothing.
Nothing, not at all.
Nothing. Not one thing.
You didn't win a super awesome Treasure Wars game yesterday?
I did win a Treasure Wars game. Yes.
Yeah.
Treasure Wars is great. Dude, I
we
mean,
used to just play that all day.
Yeah, dude.
I didn't do much, but
Ethan's
my
a
team
big-
won.
He's a big Treasure Wars and Roblox guy. I know that from
Roblox. What was the one? Murder Mystery.
Murder.
We always used to play that all the time.
Well, now that I know this, we gotta get. You ever play the Survivor game on there?
Is that new?
You always play this Survivor
Dude,
game.
it's like the game Survivor, where you go to an island and everyone has. If we get that and we got a crew, we can just vote everybody else off, and we're guaranteed one of us are gonna win.
Yeah, it's like Total Drama Island. You know
I've
that
never
one?
played that.
That's a good.
Oh, we gotta play some Survivor. Total Drama Island. We gotta play one of them. What about you, Logan? Anything fun?
No, after after last week's podcast and show, I went out and I tried a bunch of candies. Just try to see sort of eat some ones that I haven't eaten in a while, sort of give my opinion. And I will say, I do have to admit, my number one from last week, my number one least favorite was the Heath. And it's not as bad as I thought it was when I was a kid. I remember as a kid, I would eat it and I would hate it. And I had it and it wasn't awful like I remembered it, but I explained it like this: if it's in front of me with all the other candies, I'll eat it, but I'll eat it last.
Yeah.
Save the best for last. I'll take it.
No, if I couldn't eat it first because then my teeth would hurt too bad to eat the rest. But so I will say I'll give it to Heath. They're not the worst candy of all time, but
It's not
factual thing is that Almond Joys are good.
good.
And that's just that.
Okay, hold on. First of all, he's saying Heaths are bad and then says Almond Joys are good. That's a red
Thank
flag.
you.
That's a
I
red
think
flag.
Ethan is correct here. I do have one major announcement that I'm
Major.
super excited about.
Major.
You know, since like Halloween's over and like it's November, starting to get a little colder. Welcome to flannel season, baby. As you can see right now, it's flannel season.
It's the most wonderful time
Oh,
of the
it's
year.
the best. You can throw a flannel on with sweatpants. I got them on right now. I got sweatpants and a flannel on. And guess what? I look spiffy enough. I could go to the bar. I could do whatever I want. I could just be sitting on the couch, hanging out with the bros. It's flannel season.
Arguably the most universally accepted clothing. Like you said, you can wear it anywhere.
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 All the time.
Gotta love
It
the
could be like a
flannel.
little coat. Like if I'm a little cold, guess what? My sleeves are covered. And it's
I do
awesome.
enjoy flannels.
The best.
Pretty sweet.
All right.
But enough about us. Let's go ahead and get into this interview.
The man of the hour, Ethan.
Who are we interviewing? Me?
I don't know when he's gonna get
You're
here.
the interesting one here, not about us. We're talking about flannels.
All the
Candy.
joys.
I'd say turtlenecks are better. They keep your
I did just buy a turtleneck and it is amazing.
It's a life
I
changer.
love it.
Oh, good
I
God.
really do love it.
You said you could wear it in bed, wear it out if you want.
Good point.
Either or.
Well, I
All right.
say we get into this.
Let's
Well, first
dive
off,
in.
let's start off. I mean, I don't want to leave you out. How was your week? Anything big? Anything crazy happening this week?
Just sleeping, catching up on my sleep, and editing videos. So
Hey, sleep's important.
exactly.
That'll roll us into like what? So like, what do you do? That'll roll us into the interview, right?
So
Like, tell everybody what you do.
people always like to think I'm a photographer. That's like what the first thing people think of is being a photographer. But I do videography and photography, and we call that creative media or content creator. So I work with colleges around the area, high schools, professional teams. I get to travel around the country, which is awesome. Just creating content for social media or YouTube, whichever platform you want to do. So it's fun working with all types of athletes.
Yeah, so you used to work for a really big athlete. I don't know if you can disclose names and stuff, but how was that?
It was fun. I mean, I got all my travel paid for, expenses, everything. Got to meet a lot of good people and experience different sides of sports outside of Ohio, which is where I grew up at. So it's nice seeing talent from other areas and making those connections. So if I ever need something out in that area, I always have somebody out there. So
Right. Very big networking career.
Yeah.
very
Absolutely.
true.
So I gotta ask though, like, what? Like, why? Why? Like, what drew you to? You called it creative media.
Creative media.
Yeah. So
content
like,
creation.
when you first picked up the camera, what made you want to do that?
Well, honestly, I know you know what I used to do. It started off with like Call of Duty videos. I used to make those Call of Duty videos all the time. Got made fun of for all the videos I'd post. It's whatever. It's what I did when I was growing up. But kind of like took passion in like taking pictures with my phone, and so I decided I was like, why not try to do my video editing that I did with Call of Duty, pick up a camera and make videos. And Rossford Football was actually the very first team that let me kind of do, I guess, record their games and stuff, and it kind of just went up from there. So it's just kind of one of those things that was a growing passion from Call of Duty videos to real life incorporation. So
When did you like start to feel like this was like your dream, like what you were meant to do? You know.
I would say after the first few videos I posted of Rossford Football, it got a lot of attention, and it was one of those things that it's common nowadays, but back when I guess I started doing it, it was one of those things that was like rare to see in this area. So it was one of those like uncommon things that got a lot of praise for what I did, but made me want to grow into something bigger, because I knew like people out in California and like Florida already did stuff like content creation for that, but it wasn't at the level it was today. So
Yeah, I know. Like growing up, like even our class, like you guys graduated a year below me, but we never had anybody. Like we had JB take pictures of our stuff. But that was like the extent to our content.
Yeah.
So it was hard to make highlight videos from a huddle camera, but you are allowing the athletes to have access to close up on the field action, which is really cool. I really like that.
So, I mean, you talked a little bit about how you started with Rossford, but like, you've grown a lot since your days starting at Rossford. What's been some of like the coolest things that you've done, like whether it's organizations that you've worked for, or just like some of the content that you're most proud of?
I would say some of the content I'm most proud of is, I haven't posted a lot of it yet, but the Michigan State game that I shot last weekend, Not exactly allowed to post a lot of that stuff yet, just because of the rights and things with the sports networks that were working the game. But I'd say that was one of my bigger games that I shot. I got to shoot a little bit of the Kansas City Chiefs, which was also a huge experience for me. And then working a lot of the number one teams out in California is also another big. That was like insane seeing, coming from Rossford to where you maybe get 100 fans, 200 fans, I'm not sure the exact number of fans at the stadium, but going from that to a sellout game of 10,000 fans in California for a high school football game is just like insane, like change of atmosphere. So
Yeah, definitely.
So, you had kind of maybe mentioned this or like briefed on this a little bit about how like people just think you're a photographer, and you know, people, I'm sure you've come across it a lot where it's like, oh, Ethan, he's a photographer, and like they sort of like dumb it down, like but like what do you say to people that say, because like I said, I'm sure there are that say, oh, all he's doing is recording a video or taking a picture, like I could do that, like I mean, I think a lot of the times with a lot of people, we sort of like try to dumb down everything that anybody does. It's like, I'm doing accounting. I was like, oh, well, he just types numbers into a calc. Like, you can dumb down anything, but what do you say to those people that just say, oh, it's just this, when in reality, we know it's not. But
I would always say like the easiest part of the process is just holding the camera and taking pictures or taking videos, but it's really like expanding outside of that region of like being creative with what you're shooting, because anybody can point a camera at an athlete and take a picture, and it might look good depending on what action or the scene behind him is going on. But I always say it's always like portraying that emotion or whatever you want behind the thing. So like with the videos that I make, it's always like there's a purpose behind each video that I shoot, and it's like anyone can hold a camera up to an athlete and record a video, but it's like, what are you trying to portray in that video? What is the emotion? Say like it's game day, you're trying to portray the emotion of like, it's basically like what, so like my job basically is like giving that interaction to the fans that they normally don't get, because fans are up in the stands. They're not down there on the field experiencing that one-on-one connection with the athletes. So it's more of like being able to show them what other people can't see, and being able to, like I always say, portray that emotion. So
yeah, to that, I sort of distinctly remember like the first video you did for Rossford football, and I remember it being like super hype, and like it's like, wow, that was super cool. Like you said, we don't really have that around this area, so it was like new, but just, I mean, I was blown away by the quality and everything, but like I can't remember specifics, but I remember afterward I was like, wow, that was awesome, and like it would. I think I remember there was like maybe like a locker room scene, like and them like getting hype, and I mean everyone loves those, but yeah, that's just like building a connection on stuff we don't really get to see.
That's like one of the biggest things that people don't get to experience is that locker room atmosphere. And it's like when we were out in California shooting those games, we would get that locker room access, and you'd get all like the players interacting with each other, dancing in the locker room. And it's like, yeah, you can see that on phones and Snapchats and Instagram stories of the athletes posting it, but it's so much different when it feels like an actual like high quality video, and you get to experience that like being inside the locker room with the athletes, which you're not going to get as a fan. So
You're basically telling a story with what you're doing. Like, it's not just taking pictures or videos, it's how you put that together into a story and into a hype video or whatever you're
like you were saying, like it's almost like an eye's view, like you're like when you watch the videos, it's almost like you're in the locker room, you're in the field, so it's like very creatively thought out.
So with that, this is kind of, I guess, more of a nerdier question, but like, for how long exactly have you been doing it, and how has your equipment kind of evolved throughout the years? Like, what did you start with, and what are you using now?
So I started video editing when I was like 13 or 14, so like right around like junior high, I'd say, and that was literally on a gaming computer that was maybe $600 back in the day, and so it kind of evolved from that to buying like lower end. I used to record videos on my phone too, so I used to do that. Bought my first camera, which was like a lower end, and obviously as I get more clients and making money, is like I get to purchase more expensive equipment, which is why my content is higher quality, being able to just see everything in a different way. But I don't know, it's just, I'm trying to think. You repeat that question? My bad. I lost my train of thought.
I mean, just like how is your, you kind of answered it, like how is your equipment kind of grown, and like the way that you're able to, like, I guess the more clients you get, the more income you have, the more you're able to evolve with your equipment. Exactly. And what kind of difference has that made? I mean, you kind of said that already, but like, is there more of like what difference exactly has the higher quality made?
That's like more of so like clients are looking for specific quality, like different frame rates and like camera quality that you can shoot in. So most clients are looking for a camera that can shoot in like 4K quality for commercial work. And that's something that I don't always post on my Instagram is commercial work, because it's not like, my Instagram's like athletics. So when I work like commercial work, like I do weddings and stuff still. I do a lot of like behind the scenes stuff that people never see. And it's just like, they always look for that higher end quality because they're going to be showing that to their clients, which is also like, wow, this looks really good. And it's like, if you had an iPhone camera recording that, it's not going to be the same feeling. So
with that kind of goes into another question I wanted to ask. Because a lot of your social media is sports. Mm-hmm. And is that kind of like your main direction you want to go down? Or is there other things that you want to pursue with this?
I've always said I wanted to be a YouTuber and kind of like vlogging the behind the scenes experience of like what I get to do. So it's almost like that same thing of like showing the fans that different aspect of things. I want to show like how I go about doing my job and showing like what it looks like from my eyes of like how I'm doing it. So it's just a different aspect of everything.
That's a great idea.
That's one thing that I liked about like bringing you on and like your work. Is it's sort of poetic in a way that you're always the one behind the camera, and you're the one that makes those special moments, and you're the one that builds those connections and builds those emotions to people. And that's like sort of like why Sam wanted to bring it on, and we wanted to bring you on, was like to put you in front of the camera and be able to like, so people can at least see you. And like you market yourself really well on social media and stuff, but I mean, if people know you by face, and most of the time face only, so and I think YouTube would be an awesome thing to do, because it's giving you a chance to be more than just the guy behind the camera. Like, it's almost like a thankless job. I mean, people are like, oh, thank you, I love the pictures, I love the videos, but it's a lot more than that.
It really is. And then like as a wrestler, I take a lot of appreciation to the camera guys, because they take great videos and they take great pictures, allowing us to share them on social medias. I will always like shout them out, and I love what you do. And like he said, like that was immediately when we thought about bringing on a guest, I wanted to hear your story about being a videographer or a creative media guy.
And that's like just seeing you like on Snapchat or like on Instagram, and just kind of like following where you go, and like it seems like you're always traveling, you're always doing it, like you live a crazy life.
That was like a good probably 4 or 5 months of my life was literally flying every 3 days to a different state. So it's cool at first, but I mean, having to always keep track of everything you have, and packing for trips, and dealing with car rentals, hotels, flights, and it's a lot to do. It's stressful at the end of the day, which a lot of people is like, oh, you get to experience a lot of cool things, and it's like half the time I'm going to these areas to shoot and then leaving. So like literally tomorrow night I'm flying out to New York, sleeping for like 4 hours, waking up, doing a shoot, flying back here for the Michigan game at night. And it's like I go to New York City, and get to experience one area because I'm literally going for a shoot and then leaving 4 hours after. So
I know, because I know you pretty well. I know that you've always been a firm believer that like you aren't meant to be like sitting behind a desk doing a 9-to-5 job. Like, what inspired you to take a different route than that? Like, what inspired you to be in the creative media?
It was just one of those things of like every like not really part-time job that I had, but like any job that I would work, it was just like, I'm not enjoying this. I used to work as a Marco's Pizza delivery or Sky Zone field monitor or a valet, and it was one of those things where I'd wake up and be like, wow, why am I doing this? It's one of those things, it's like, I don't want to go to work, why am I doing this? Like, this is not where I want to be. And when I started doing like videography, it was like I get to wake up and be like, wow, I get to go shoot this today, I get to go do that today. And it's like, I don't wake up thinking, wow, I have to go do this, or I have to go into work. It's like, oh, this is sweet, I get to go work a football game tonight, or I get to go fly to New York and shoot on like with athletes. It's one of those things. It's like has a bigger purpose behind it than just living
and making money. Like it's you're enjoying what you do, and that's the biggest thing in life is like you have to be able to enjoy what you're doing.
Do what you love, and you never work a day in your life.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
So I have another question. It's so like you said, we started with like Call of Duty editing videos, like probably no scope trick shots or whatever, and then you know going to Rossford, and I remember there was also like that Twitter page that you made, like the Aperture.
Yeah, I think it was
Primitive Aperture or something like
Primitive
that.
Aperture. I used to post a lot of like.
You had like a big following on there. It was just like it was basically just like a big, sort of group for all like social media influencers to come and just share their content with each other. But so what would you say is probably like the biggest turning point to that skyrocketed you into where you are now? Was it like the big, you know, all of that? Because that, I'm sure that builds connections, you know, making that mass content creator area, or something else, just reaching out, working hard. What do you think that was?
I would say the turning point in my career was definitely working with Massillon Football. It's a football school high school up in. I think
it
it's
is a football school kind of.
Yeah, it basically is. Like they have their whole facilities are based around like college level. Like it's crazy. I think it's up in Akron, right around Akron or like Canton, Ohio. But I went up there. It was funny because the first game that I ever worked for them, it was one of those things to where like I wasn't sure if I was going to be paid for it because I was working for a company and they would always send me to the games. And it was one of those days where I was just like, oh, like this is a huge game. I drove 2.5 hours to go film it, not sure if I was going to be paid or not. Went out there, filmed it, posted all the content, and it went viral on TikTok, like Instagram, everywhere I posted it. And then they reached out and hired me for the entire state football playoffs. So I did the entire football playoffs, filmed all that, posted that on, like, I would say my biggest success too is TikTok, is like where I've gotten most of my clients from. And so I posted all that on TikTok, and then that's where I found that football YouTuber that hired me. That's like, every client that I've found has honestly been based off of TikTok. Like I've worked for a volleyball team in Hawaii. They flew me down to Orlando off of TikTok, and it's just like, I guess working that Massillon game to where that video went viral was like that turning point of my career.
Recognition and just snowballed from there.
It's always nice to like to be aware of the turning point in your career. Like it's a good to like reflect on that and like, dang, like I paid all those dues to get where I'm at. Like you said, you drove 2 hours and you were like, I might get paid, I might not, but I get to go do what I love. And then look where you're at now. You're skyrocketing. How important do you think, like, in today's society for careers with media or creative media and like everything really, how important is social media?
I think it's one of the most important things to build like any business. Like you'll see any business on social media posting like their content, and it's like it's always one of those things of like you're seeing another side that you might not necessarily get to see. So like sports teams, you're seeing those locker rooms, like you're seeing people dance in the locker rooms, like the NFL games, like afterwards all of them celebrating. It's like fans don't get to see that. And it's like, yeah, the players, again, will record on their phone, but it's not the same as that content. Same with brands, like they're hiring videographers to shoot these really nice high-quality videos of their cars and stuff that are being promoted on TV. And that's another thing, when you're watching it, you're like, wow, this looks really nice. It gets me interested in the product. And the same thing with athletes, especially with that NIL deal now. It's like you're being able to promote these athletes wearing a jacket, a pair of socks, a pair of cleats, and it's like, wow, they look really cool doing that. I want to buy a pair. Yeah. It's one of those things to where like it's essential to have social media because it pushes your product, your personality, and everything so much further than just word of mouth. So
I completely agree because like, I mean, at the blink of an eye or like scroll of your phone, like you can see so many different products and so many different brands and so many like things that catches your eye, and then all of a sudden you're a fan of it or you're like a consumer of it. And
exactly.
I agree. I think social media is huge in our game.
Well, one thing like about how you and your profession are, is that you're more than just like a social media content creator. You are basically a marketer because you have to learn how to market, and you have to know people's wants and desires and what they're looking for out of a sports clip or any other, like a wedding photography. So like, you're a lot more than that, really. I mean, there's probably other things as well in there, and it's crazy, like that the amount of work that you do, it just gets so far overlooked.
Yeah, he's one man with one hat, or with a bunch of different hats. Like that's the analogy. Yeah, for his business, like you're creating an entire brand by yourself, and it's amazing to see.
I like how you brought up your TikTok, because I was going to ask about that, and like, I mean, you kind of already answered it, like how that has kind of changed the game for you. But like, is there anything like between that and Instagram and YouTube, like, would you say TikTok is definitely number one for you? Like that's the, I mean, you kind of already said so, but like, what about TikTok makes it so unique and makes it and has helped you so much?
It's just honestly the reach. I know Instagram has really dumbed down a lot of their like outreach with their videos, like likes, views, and everything. But TikTok, I mean, I post videos once a day, twice a day, and I have maybe 1 or 2 videos a week that hit like 2 million views, 5 million views, and it's like that's 5 million people seeing my post. And it's like Instagram, you're not going to get that same thing, and that's why TikTok's so big. And they have like I'm not in the program because I don't really feel like being it, but they will pay their creators money to post, and based off of their views they're getting paid simply because they can run ads and like little like advertisements on the bottom of their videos, or however they pay. And it's basically like they're paying the creators to keep people on their apps so they can push more advertisements. So it's one of the biggest, I'd say it is the biggest platform right now is TikTok.
I love TikTok.
I love a good TikTok.
I scrolled through TikTok.
They just made me get it last
so
night.
much.
So
He wasn't
2
into
nights
it.
ago.
We had to open up the world of TikTok to him.
Good Lord.
And introduce it to him.
Yeah.
But that brings up a big point, an interesting point, is that like with TikTok. So on one of my songs of the week, like the second week, I picked a guy named Nick D. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He had a song that blew up on TikTok, and then it was like number 3 on Spotify for that, like, and he just pushed it, and it like, that really just goes to show that if you put your mind to something, like, you can do it, and like you guys are like all kind of living proof of that. You and you with wrestling, you also with wrestling, like he and him as well. Like he was on social media, he made a song and then pushed it on TikTok, and then it blew up, and I mean I like the song, but like it really is just a testament to you set your mind to something, you can do it. And I mean, I'm a genuine believer in this life, if you want to do something, you certainly can.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's always nice to have living proof. And I mean, these 3 are very good examples of it, I would say.
And like you said, it really just takes like that one video to hit 2 million likes, and then you really like that 2 million people watching your stuff, like you said.
And that's like going back on his point too, is like artists now like creating music and stuff, they'll be paying TikTokers to make videos to their songs. Like I have artists that like pay me to make a highlight video to one of their songs, and it's like they're literally paying creators to push their song because they understand how big TikTok is. Like half the songs that are top 5 in the country right now are literally songs that went viral off of TikTok.
It's that Walker Hayes song.
That
song's so bad, but it's like it's a country song. It's on 92.5 just because it's a big TikTok sound.
So you talked about it earlier about the Michigan State game that you just filmed, and I know that you've always wanted to record for a Big Ten program. Like that was like one of your dreams, one of your goals, everything like that. Now that you've done it, like what's the next big goal, next big like dream that you are like, I'm reaching for it, and I'm gonna get it one day?
I would say filming a full NFL game. That would be like my next biggest goal. And honestly, like that's the thing, I don't know my next goal after that until I achieve that goal. So like my first goal was like filming a Big Ten college, and it's like I got to experience that last weekend, and now it's like, okay, now I'm gonna try and achieve filming for an NFL game, and it's like I don't know what I'm gonna do after that, but it's like it'll come to me, but it's just,
I completely can relate to that. Like my one goal in wrestling was to get on TV. I got on TV. And like then the next goal was after that, and there's so many goals, and I don't know what's after that goal, but it's I agree. I can relate to that.
I think the good thing about that, or the key to doing that is always staying hungry. Is if you're content, but that's, I don't know, if you're content, you film a Big Ten game and you're like, I did it and I'm content with it. And like, if you just want to do Big Ten games for this, like, that's fine. Like, but if you're staying hungry and, you know, like now you have a goal, like, and you can go reach it, but that just comes with hunger.
That was like the craziest thing about filming that game is like when I got there, it was like, wow, this is an awesome experience. And once I was finished, I was like, okay, what's next? Like, I was just like, cool. Like, it was a cool experience to think about. And then, like, I mean, it was a sweet experience. It was literally probably one of the biggest games in the country.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, this is so cool being here. And once I finished, it was like, okay, cool. Like, I know I can do that now, but what can I do next? Like, I want to do something bigger than this, which was huge. And it's like, I always want to do something bigger.
I always tell myself and anybody around me, you can always get better. Like, you can. Like, after you experience it, you obviously enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
Like, enjoy like each step, but you always have to like know that there's like something else that you can do to better yourself. It's awesome.
So I want to know, I know you've mentioned like making vlogs for YouTube and all that. I mean, you're a funny guy. And you got a big personality. Do you have any desire to get on the other side of the camera, and like where would that take you? What do you want to do with, like, or are you content staying behind?
No, that's why I wanted to create those like vlog type things on YouTube to kind of show like my personality behind it, because a lot of people just think like, I mean, obviously from this too, you think I'm some super serious dude that's like really strict about everything, but it's like, no, I'm the most laid back, like not stupidest, but like goofiest person you will ever meet. And it's like people don't really see that side of me until they get to know me for a while. And it's like, I want to be able to show people that it's like, you can still have fun doing what you're doing and still have a serious job.
And I mean, you hit it on the head. Goofy. You are one goofy dude.
That is my nickname. The old job I used to work at, they always used to call me Goofy. So.
No, man.
So, is there sort of a branch of videography or photography that you don't like to do?
Weddings.
You know, like weddings?
Not a big wedding guy?
I've actually heard that a lot.
The thing is, it's like, I don't know, like it's not that I don't have the emotion to do it, but it's like I was saying before, it's like, you're there to portray an emotion, and it's like, I'm not really, like, obviously when I'm in relationships, I feel that emotion, but like for other people, when I'm sitting there, I'm not like, oh my God, this would look good, or like, you guys should do this. It's like, I'm literally there like, okay, like, I'm not feeling this at all. And it's like one of those weird things of like, I mean, I still make good videos and take good pictures of it, but it's like my heart isn't fully behind it. So it's not like, I'm not going out of my way to find those clients. It's like if somebody reaches out to me and they're like, hey, we need this, and it's like, okay, that's like 90% of my work that I don't post is like stuff that I'm like, okay, like I'm like not necessarily working for a paycheck, but it's like, I mean, at the end of the day, you kind of have to make money with what you do, but it's like, I'm not going out of my way to find those jobs, because I'm not passionate about weddings. And
it's almost kind of because like I would assume that a lot of your clients for weddings, like they're not like really relatives or friends or things.
They're just like random people.
Exactly. So like, why do you care about the relationship?
Yeah,
so I get that. Yeah.
And it's also, like you said, you're trying to portray that emotion, and you can film a high school football game and post it, and millions of people see that and they feel that emotion. And you take those wedding photos in that video and you send that to the bride and groom, and that's two people that feel that emotion. And it's just like, it's just not rewarding.
You got the in-laws too. They kind of.
You have the family, I'm sure, but like, it's probably just not as rewarding because nobody's trying to. But like, do you like nature?
Yeah, honestly, I thought about taking a step back from what I'm doing for a while and kind of traveling around, because a few of my friends are. Right now they're traveling around the country in a van right now, and I wanted to go and join. They're out in California right now, so I was like, I kind of wanted to take a step back from all the social media and everything, because it is a lot after a while. Like, I'm constantly, like, I'll wake up to 20 texts a day of like with all my clients saying, hey, blah blah blah, like we need this, we need that, can you come do this? And it's like, I go on social media, and with my videos blowing up on TikTok, I get maybe 10, 15 DMs a day of like, hey, what camera are you using? How are you doing this? Can you explain your career to me? How did you get into this? And it's like, that's a lot to deal with every day. And it's like one of those things of like, I want to take a step back and not be on my phone and experience like life for what it is, which is one of my biggest things of like, taking the time to appreciate what you have now instead of looking back when you're 30 or 40 years old and being like, wow, I should have done this.
Yeah, don't want to live with regrets.
We don't get any DMs, and I still struggle with social media. It is still overwhelming to me. Somebody likes our picture, I'm done for the day. Like,
I would say do it, man. Like, do it. Go.
Do what you want to do.
Yeah.
that sounds so fun, living out in a van. Just
It really
driving
does.
around.
Yeah, I would love for that because I feel the same thing. Like, there's a lot of pressure to be on your phone a lot of the times with social media and everything like that because you have to keep up with your brand and things like that if you want your business to grow. So yeah, I definitely feel that. But like, you deserve it. Take a break. You know, you've been kicking butt.
So with that, I want to know. You've said you've been doing this since like 13. That's a lot of time. What do you think is one of the biggest mistakes that you've made?
I would say being too generous and kind of not really being too understanding, but like, obviously now I know my worth, but back then it was like, oh, like some of the times I would go to like clients and work for them and send my work before I'm being paid, and then I would never be paid. And it's one of those things of like, now I'll go and film, do the work, and it's like, okay, I need you to pay me, do this, do that before I send it to you. And it's like, I have those good relationships with other clients to where I can go film, send them all the work, and I know they're going to pay me. But it's like, I've been taken advantage of from some clients to where like, I'll send them work and not be paid for 4 months. And it's one of those things that's like, you owe me a certain amount of money. And it's like, I'm still being generous enough to be like, oh, like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And it's just like, I've learned to be like, this is how it is. This is a business. Like, I'm not. And it's like, I have kids asking me all the time to come film high school football games. And it's like, I'd love to do that. But at the end of the day, I'm having other high school teams, companies hitting me up to come film and being paid for it. And it's like, I'd love to come film your game, but it's like, I will always take money over working for free, which I'm sure anyone would. But it's like one of those things of like, back then I'd be like, oh, somebody's paying me this amount, but it's like, oh, I'd rather go do this. And I would go film a game for free just because like, I felt bad if I didn't. And now it's like, I'm going to take, because it's work. I mean, that's
a job.
That's what people don't understand a lot of the times. It's like, I'm working. They just think I have a camera and I'm filming and taking pictures. It's like, wow, you get to have fun with what you're doing, but it's like, it's still my job. I'm still working 40, 50 hours a week, filming, being up all day, editing the videos, sending it and doing that. And it's like, people don't see it that way. They just think it's like, oh, wow, you're taking pictures. That's cool. You're taking a video. But they don't really realize that it's a real job. So
I think editing is one of those things that is such a lost art that people don't understand.
Yeah,
they see the photo and they're like, wow, it's so great. But that photo probably had hours of editing going behind it.
And that's like videos too. It's like, people just see the video that I post and it's like, honestly, probably half an hour of that was like spent trying to find the song to use. Then it was finding the right clips to use. That takes like an hour. Like, obviously organizing everything, laying it out, telling the story with the music, and then it's like, okay, cool, that's done. Now you have to color the footage, you have to make it look right, you have to make sure like there's nothing wrong. Then you're adding the effects, the transitions, and then after that it's like you're sound designing everything, like you're sound designing the transitions with sound effects. And it's like, people just think it's like, cool, I film a video, I post it. It's like, no, there's so much that goes behind it.
And that's all for 30 seconds, a minute of work?
Like, honestly,
content?
I've spent like 4 or 5 hours on like a 30-second video, which was literally just like figuring out what I want to do with it and everything else that goes behind it. And it's like, people see that 30 seconds, not the 2 hours it took to film, that 2 hours it took there and back to drive, then the 4 hours that it took to edit. That's basically a full day, more than a full day's work that somebody would work at a restaurant working 8 hours.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh, you get to do what you love. And it's like, I'm still working. It's 10 hours out of my day working.
So, doing that, like, doing media stuff down at Bowling Green, like, I don't know, I'm sure you're the same way. I'm kind of like a perfectionist, where, like, the smallest little thing irritates me, and I have to try and fix that.
Yeah.
And there will be days when I'll take a video, and it's not a long video, but I'll go into, like, I'll go down to BG, go into a room, and start editing when the sun's still up, and then I'll come out and the sun's down. And it just, like, walking outside and seeing it dark, that, like, kills me. I'm like,
that's weird.
I just spent so much time in there, and, like, Oh, it's the worst.
It's a lost art, like you were saying, like that people don't realize it. Like people just like expect it to be, oh, you videoed? Okay, well, I expect my video tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just
like
throw
in
it
the
together.
morning.
Just
Yeah.
it's not.
I
Yeah.
have a lot of people like that's like athletes too. Like there was literally one time I went to a photo shoot for like a high school, and as I was driving home, one of the athletes was like, "Hey, can you send me those pictures?" Blah blah blah. And I was like, "I literally haven't even gotten home yet." And they're like, they that's the thing. Like that's another thing I deal with a lot is like, "Hey, can you send me those pictures?" Blah blah blah. And it's like, one, I haven't even gotten home. Two, it takes more than an hour to do.
Yeah.
Like I'll take 1,200 photos. I have to go through 1,200 photos.
See which ones you can use and not.
And then I have to go back and edit them, and it's like that takes. People don't realize how long that takes.
So I have one last question. It's so we've talked about like outside of the satisfaction that like doing videography and photography gives you. So outside of that, what has been the most rewarding or satisfying thing that has come from sort of the path that you've come on in your work?
I would just say meeting the people that I've gotten to know, and it's just like they've honestly been some of my best friends now. That it's like you meet these people in like Miami or Los Angeles, and it's like it's one of those things that you stay in touch like every few days, but it's like I want to go out there now again to like see you again or like experience that same experience that we had. And it's like it sucks when I live 2 days away from Los Angeles, because it's like you build such good friendships everywhere you go, and it's like you don't see those people every day like you do when you're at home. So
So this is my last question, and this might be a tough one to answer considering that you said you only go like one goal at a time. But let's say we hop in a time machine, 40 years in the future, 60-some-year-old Ethan. What do you hope by that point you've achieved? What do you hope that guy's like?
I honestly want to own, like, obviously doing my own YouTube stuff and, like, documenting my day-to-day, but I also want to own a business to where, like, I have a collective group of people that can do what I do, and it's like, okay, because I can't be everywhere at once, so it's like one of those things where, like, I want to make a business to basically be like, oh, there's a client out in Los Angeles that needs you, okay, I have somebody that can do this, and send them out there. And it's like, I'll make a portion of whatever they make, but I'm also getting them that experience, the connection, they're getting paid for what they do, and getting to work off of like a business model. So it's like I'd say that's my biggest goal too, is like owning something and being able to, that's like, I love to help people. So it's like, I want to have a business that helps me, that also helps other creatives get to where they need to be, because not everybody has the right connections. And it's like, I'm not saying I have all the connections, but I hope to have a decent amount by the time I'm 30, 40 years old, that I can help somebody my age that's struggling with their path to better them to where they want to be. So
Almost kind of give them their own turning point.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that sounds awesome.
I think you should jump on that and do that like tomorrow. But I also have one last question. I have to ask, what is the most dangerous animal you think you could take in a fight? We gotta know. We have to know. It's curveball.
I am a pretty big person.
Yeah, I
so
know.
I think
I know. You're pretty huge.
Sure,
I
punch
want to
an
know.
elephant.
pretty dangerous.
You could probably reach a giraffe.
Yeah, he could definitely catch his hand.
Giraffes seem like a pacifist.
Yeah. No, they
Have you seen them like neck fight and stomp on people?
Actually, at the zoo, I've seen them do some very interesting things.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, I would say, I don't know. You ever see those kangaroos? I think I could take a kangaroo.
Oh,
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
You can kill a
Yeah.
kangaroo. I have my
I would
answer.
definitely take one.
Not that you asked me, but I know this immediately. It is 100% a crocodile or an alligator.
good lord.
Absolutely, I could kill a crocodile or an alligator.
So you think you could take a kangaroo?
Well, they're not too dangerous.
They're
I would
pretty
say-
jacked though.
I would say-
Have you
I
seen
think you
them?
could. I think you could.
I would say I could take
Yeah.
a female lion, not a male,
Yes.
like a full-grown male lion.
The
No, that
females
thing
are
would-
almost more dangerous. though.
Yeah, don't you can catch them.
No, I agree.
But they're not as big.
I agree
That's
with
true.
you. I agree
Like,
with
I
you.
don't think I'd be able to.
100% I do.
I don't think I'd be able to manhandle like a male lion, but
Yeah.
a lioness, I think I could.
I would 100%. No,
get these
I 100% agree with you.
Give me like a teenage lion. Maybe I could take a teenage lion.
Give me a baby lion.
Dude,
Yeah, like a little cub.
Where
Little
was this?
Simba.
Where was this
Yeah.
home around the campfire that one night?
Little Simba.
We were arguing about this, and they thought I was the most ridiculous thing. But no, I agree with you. Kangaroo, lion, I said those
Giraffe.
A full-grown crocodile would
Yes.
take you out.
How is it? No, okay, we're not gonna.
I'm not gonna get into
But
it.
how
I
does it?
think if you could fight a crocodile out of water.
No,
then
yeah, in water it kills me 100%. Out of water, how does it kill me?
Dude,
How?
Bear
You
Grylls.
could curb stomp it.
Bear Grylls was
Like-
on Pardon My Take, and he talked about this whole thing.
Yeah, and then they also convinced him to second guess.
No, I don't think they convinced him. I
Well, no,
think
because his opinion was in water.
I'm not getting into it.
I 100%. Yeah.
So Ethan,
Kangaroo. I
love that.
he's gonna take a kangaroo
Let's book
no,
it.
he's gonna take
as an
a
appetizer.
female lion.
Appetizer.
Yeah.
A warm
A
up.
little warm up fight.
Yeah.
And
Those
then he's
things-
about to.
Those things can throw hands.
Oh, I mean, they can throw feet
God.
too. They're little kickboxers. But that's an appetizer to the main course where he takes out the lioness. Yes, sir. I believe in you, Ethan.
I certainly
wanna
think
see
I
it.
certainly think the strategy with the kangaroo is get inside and just start punching it.
His
from
little
the-
pouch.
Start punching it from the inside.
I agree. Have you seen that's what I'm saying? Like, have you seen how big a male lion is compared to a female
Oh
lion?
yeah,
Massive.
I agree. Yeah, that's why.
I
I
got
agree.
sweet hair.
Yeah.
We got a lion's mane.
All right.
Well, Ethan,
Enough of that.
thank you very much. I'm glad we got to share your story with everybody. We're going to move into the next segment that is Cream of the Crop. And we would love it that you,
That sounds like a weird name for a game.
it's not a game.
Or whatever cream of the crop
It's
is.
Cream of the Crop, where we rank our top 5 of a favorite.
Because you know, they say cream of the crop is like the best of the best.
Yeah.
I've never heard that, no.
Oh, there you go. Hey, you learned something
Well,
new.
guess what? Yeah, we're out here learning people some knowledge.
Skip, why don't you go ahead and tell them what the cream of the crop is this week?
Okay, this week's Cream of the Crop, we're going to do our top 5 favorite cartoon characters.
I gotta get my list out. I wrote that board down.
Number 1 rule with the cartoons is they have to be in a TV show. No video games allowed. Well, I mean, they can be part of a video game, but like they also have to have a TV show
Can it be TV show or movie?
or movie.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that would work. Because cartoon sort of implies that
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
on television.
Okay.
Not like a video game.
Oh, yeah.
So how does this work? Who goes
So
first?
we're gonna go-
No, we're gonna start with Skip.
Start with me.
Yeah, Skip. I feel like we've never started with you.
Well, it's
don't
because I'm
think
in the
we-
middle. It's
yeah.
kind of like a snake order, so that doesn't
hey,
really work.
No,
Yeah, we're gonna start with you.
We're
Okay.
gonna start with you, and we'll go. We'll just circle around.
It's
Circle.
like, what was that one movie to where they like stitched everyone's mouths and butts together?
Oh, Human Centipede. Yeah, that. This is just like that.
So number 5, I have the human centipede.
I forgot that cartoon.
That was my favorite show growing up. I was like, I want to be just like that when I grow up.
Wait, the human centipede or the top?
The human centipede.
He wanted to be the middle.
Yeah.
You're in the middle somewhere.
I want to receive and give. So.
I mean, hey, you're never not like hungry, you know.
Oh my. All right, now on to the children's cartoon characters. That we,
Hey, why do they
we
gotta be
so
children?
lovingly.
The children watching this can be like, "What is human centipede, Dad?"
Google it. Google it.
Don't.
Movie night. Movie night.
Don't Google it. All right, Skip.
All right.
Lead us off.
Here we go. For number 5, I'm going with the genie from Aladdin.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I
It is
understand.
pretty lame.
We're starting
Yeah.
off.
We're going with,
He's buff.
I mean, Robin Williams. Absolute, like, icon.
Rest in
Icon. And if you just go on YouTube, you can watch videos of, like, him, you know, creating that character. Because really, he didn't have a script. He had a script, but then he just took it, threw it away,
Nice.
and did whatever he wanted to do. And it's so cool just to see him at work. So I had to put the genie on there.
With my list, I didn't really like think about like the voices over. I just thought about how great they make the story. With
This is the only one that I
Oh,
did
okay,
the voice.
okay.
That is, just because, you know, Robin
Yeah.
Williams is such an icon.
Sure.
I go.
Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead,
So the
Ethan.
thing is with my list, like these are all like they would all be like my number 1 favorite cartoon characters, but I can only list them 1 to 5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So number 5 is Cartman from South
That's a
Park.
great pick.
But he's still up there.
Yeah,
he's
he's-
a good character.
It's number
He's just
5,
like
yeah.
He's so funny.
he is. He's like one of those
What does
like
he say to Mr. Garrison?
I'll be honest with you. I've never watched a single episode of South Park.
Oh my god.
I've seen
you're,
in my entire
You're
life.
missing
Not
out.
even. I think I've seen a clip.
you're missing out. You like Rick and Morty, don't you?
I love Rick and Morty.
Yeah. South Park's got the same kind of humor.
South Park's funny. I've seen
Yeah.
a couple episodes, but I'm not like.
There's
South
also
Park
another
has,
really
like-
popular one that I've never seen an episode from, but I'll get to that because I'm assuming it's going to be on somebody's list.
Family Guy.
No.
We'll get to it.
Oh,
Let's get
sorry.
to it, Sam.
All right, mine.
Good pick.
Good pick.
Yeah, I like her.
Good pick.
I don't know.
My number 5 is Rutro Raggy, Scooby Doo.
Scooby Doo.
Scooby Doo is amazing.
That's
He-
another animal I could take.
He is dangerous.
I'm rocking
I mean,
Scooby-Doo.
Great Danes are huge.
You can't take Scrappy though.
Yeah, Scrappy little Scrap.
That's the dude with the green shirt, right?
No, that's Shaggy. Scrappy's.
Scrappy's like the Scooby that's like this tall and loves to fight people.
I'm taking him too.
Yeah, I mean, I like Scooby Doo. He's probably my favorite character out of the gang, and
for sure.
you gotta put Scooby Doo on the list with the cartoons. Like he's a man.
Have you ever
Scooby Snacks?
Have you ever seen Scooby Doo Into the Cyberspace?
The live
Oh
action.
my
Oh, no, the
That movie is so good.
yeah.
The video game. I have the
Oh
video
yeah,
game.
me too.
So
have
good.
you ever seen it?
Yeah. No, not that movie.
You should.
I
It's
love it,
so
yeah.
good.
I gotta watch it. I know we're talking about cartoons, but like I really liked the movies where they were like live action played. Oh man, those were so fun.
Go back and rewatch them because they are so like adult humor.
Are they really?
It's so much.
The one I have in my mind that I burned it from my mind when I was a kid was when Freddie and Daphne switched bodies.
Yeah. It is full of adult.
Daphne.
It is full
Yeah,
of adult.
live action.
Live action Daphne.
That live action.
She can get this live action. My God.
Okay, Logan, what's your 5?
All right, my number 5 is Aang, The Last Airbender.
That's a good one.
That's respect.
That show is so good, and I had when they put it on Netflix, I just recently watched it again, and it was between him or Uncle Iroh, but it had to be Aang. I love that show so much that I've sort of set aside my first dog's name to be Appa, just because I mean Appa's so cool, but Aang's super funny, very good comic relief character. Great show, love it. I could watch it over and over.
I think now that you mention it, I think I might have been Aang for Halloween one year. I think I might.
Probably because you always just shave your
Because
head.
I used to shave my head bald, and I remember drawing the blue arrow on.
Oh, okay, that's who that is.
Have you ever seen it?
No.
Oh,
That
it's a good
is
show.
so
good
great.
show.
So I'm gonna have a question for you guys. Sam, you might not know, but if
Okay.
you could be any bender, which one would you be?
Fire.
Water.
Water.
I would. That would be sweet.
Invisibility.
That's not a
Sure,
bender.
Good one. Good one.
The thing
I would
is,
definitely be an earthbender.
Don't you have to have that element around you to bend it? Water is more
Probably.
abundant than.
Abundant.
Ah, that's good.
That
Yeah, but like-
waterbender would probably be the most useful, but I always like in the show Toph, in Boomy, they're earthbenders. Oh, they're so cool. I would love to be an earthbender.
Never mind, there is more earth than there is water. Wait, no, there isn't.
No, there's
more
earth.
water.
There's water 70% of the earth. Yeah, you're good.
Pause.
No, you're right.
But wait, like, does it have to be around? Because like I think with the firebenders, it's not like they just got fire
Yeah,
laying
I mean,
around.
it
They
doesn't-
just
I
make
mean,
it.
I would
But-
just keep matches in
No,
my
but-
pocket.
You don't need matches. Yeah. Okay, Skip. You're number
Up
4.
to number 4. This is a big one. I'm going with Dr. Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and
Yes.
Ferb.
I have a love-hate relationship for him.
love hate.
Why? Why isn't
Because
it
he's
a
so, like-
love?
I feel bad for him, but at the same time, he's always like putting a dampening mood on the situation. He's always just like ruining cool things.
He is.
But he's also, I feel bad for him because he's just trying to be evil.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy how you can make someone whose goal is world domination. I guess tri-state area domination.
Tri-state.
And he's an evil. He's the bad guy of the show, but yet they make him so lovable.
He is the
How-
best
how
character
do they
on
do
that
that?
show.
Because it's
Like,
almost like Phineas and Ferb are like trying to ruin the tri-state. It's like, I feel like they're trying to ruin it, and Doofenshmirtz is trying to like save it from them doing stupid stuff in the tri-state area.
Unintentionally, he does
Yeah.
end up saving the day.
No,
Like when
yeah.
they build like roller coasters in their backyard, it's like, what are you doing? That's
Dangerous.
Stop.
That's
Stop.
dangerous.
You didn't get a permit.
and then he doesn't he like blow them up sometimes or like ruins it. It's like
Yeah.
ruins your project, but it's like,
Kills
listen,
them.
he's like, why are you building roller coasters in your backyard?
The funniest scene with Dr. Doofenshmirtz is when he's like talking about his backstory. He's like, it goes back to my birth neither one of my parents showed up. It's the doctor's holding him.
It's just
so
the best.
funny.
He's the best.
He is the best.
That show is great.
It's a great show, underrated show.
Oh, it's
Oh,
amazing.
it's
When we came up
properly
with when we came up with this Cream of the Crop, that was the first show that came to my mind.
Wow.
Number 4, Ethan.
Bender from Futurama.
I never watched
Also a show I've
Futurama.
never seen.
You've
an
never
Is it the
watched
episode
robot?
of.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
robot.
he's cool.
Yeah,
He's
he's
a good
funny.
guy.
I've never really watched that thing like when it came on late at night, but like, yeah, he's pretty funny.
I'm sad that you don't know him. None of you do.
I mean, I know
him.
of him.
Yeah,
I've
not
never
enough.
watched
I've
the
seen
show.
like
Yeah.
little clips of him, like, yeah, but
He's a
I've
cool
never.
guy.
Yeah.
He's cool.
Between that one and then American Dad, those were the two like more like what was it? Adult Swim. Like
Yeah.
after Cartoon Network went.
American Dad is such a good
I
show.
never watched either of them.
Roger.
I want to be like Roger too when I grow up.
My number 4 is gonna be your nemesis, Perry the Platypus. baby.
So are we doing Perry with the hat or without the hat? 'Cause that's a big difference.
with the hat.
Oh,
like, come on, Perry the Platypus, dude. He's a man. Like I said, when we came up with this crop, I thought of immediately of Phineas and Ferb. And I'm thinking like, who's my favorite character off this show? And I was like, Ferb's pretty awesome. Ferb's pretty sweet.
So your
Baljeet.
favorite two are the two that don't talk at all.
He just makes that little.
That's why it's why he's at 4, because I was gonna put Ferb and I was like, oh, he doesn't talk, and I was like, oh, Perry the Platypus. And then after I put him at 4, I'm like, ah, he doesn't talk either.
He says so little but says so much.
That's right. Hey,
That's all that matters.
That's
Perry the Platypus, baby.
philosophical.
He's the man.
When you don't say much, your words mean more.
Yeah. You
He
seen
doesn't
him in
even say
action,
words,
baby?
he just makes noises.
true.
Then he puts that little hat on. He's
My number 4 is that of the regular show, Rigby.
Rigby, that's the
That's the raccoon.
Raccoon. Yeah.
It was between Rigby or maybe Muscle Man.
Muscle Man.
He's so funny. I love Muscle Man.
But I had to go Rigby. It's so funny. I love that show. It's also just crazy how just like the craziest things get just blown out of proportion in that show and just like it's so anything other than regular.
It's like I love like the memes that they build around that show because I used to watch it a little bit when I was younger,
Mhm.
but like just the like how a regular show starts and it's like two dudes playing video games, it's like how it ends and it's like people bending space-time reality and like fighting aliens and
And nobody just likes to mention that Benson is just a gumball man.
gumball machine.
Like, it's like everything else is like, I guess somewhat sort of like fine, but he's just a gumball machine.
That's like the useless character like Towley from South Park. He's just a towel.
What?
It's just a
You've
towel.
never seen that?
No.
It's a towel that smokes weed every day. Literally.
Literally. You gotta watch it.
It's so
Literally.
funny.
Yeah.
You know what?
They actually have
His
a
whole-
character that's literally a turd.
Yeah,
I have a lot
I've
of
seen
those
Mr.
that.
Hanky?
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna say now. This is what makes cartoons so good: is that you can do anything, and it doesn't need to make sense. You can have a
Sure.
towel or a
Personification.
It
baby.
doesn't make sense, but it makes so much sense.
exactly. You can't get away with that in regular TV.
Alright, what's your number 3?
My number 3, I'm going back to. So I told Logan before that when I was making my list, it was almost just 2 shows involved, and I was gonna have 3 people from one show and 2 people from another show, but I had to narrow it down to 1 per show. This is one of those shows, and it's probably one of my favorite cartoons growing up. I went with Wilt from The Foster's Home from
Stop.
Imaginary Friends.
Wow.
Is he on your list?
He's literally my number 3.
Number 3?
Look at my list.
Hey.
Hold on. Look at my list. I'm not kidding you.
I don't want to see the top 2. Wilt Foster.
Oh, so hope,
Well,
that's what I was saying. I
basketball
hope,
player?
yes,
He's a tall
such
basketball
good-
player with one arm.
That is funny. I was like, I hope one of you know who that is.
Well, I
There
do
goes
have
my
a
number
Foster's
3.
Home from Imaginary Friends character on
Okay.
my list. He's in my honorable mentions. I'm not gonna get to.
I have-
It's not Will.
Okay, I have one that I had to put in my honorable mentions because obviously he's the most iconic character from that show. But then Eduardo.
I love Eduardo.
Eduardo's the other one that I was
Eduardo.
toying with. I was like, how could I not put Eduardo
I
on the
think
list?
I think the one in your honorable mentions is probably the most common one, but there might be one that you're forgetting.
No, I think we probably got the same guy.
Okay.
And I think it's gonna be
Cool.
Okay, we'll talk
So
about
both
that.
you guys went
Yeah.
with
We
Will.
got Will. Dude,
So,
he's so
he's a good guy. He's such a
such a
good
good
guy,
guy.
but he's also
His
like
arm is just off.
Yeah.
I remember the movie when he went missing
Yeah.
And that was like, it came out at Thanksgiving time, and I was down at my cousin's for Thanksgiving for that, and that was the most traumatic experience of my life.
Sure.
I remember the scene where he was like out on a farm and he's making all these hay bales and he's doing it so quick, and oh, what a good show.
Do you remember that one part of the show that was like they were in the junkyard and they were being chased by like that wrecking ball or whatever?
Yes.
That was a scary episode. I was so afraid for everybody. It was just like, it reminded me of like Mario, like how he has.
When they get
Yeah.
the chain,
Yeah.
yep.
That was just
That is
scary.
such a great show.
Such a great
I
show.
love that.
One of my
show.
favorite cartoons.
Did you ever watch it?
Yeah, I watched it. I was never like drawn to it as like I loved it, but I watched it.
Yeah, me and my imaginary friend watched it a lot.
Yeah. You and Blue.
Me,
Yeah, you're up.
my 3. I'm going Timmy Turner.
That's a good one.
Fairly Odd
Yeah,
Parents.
he's really good.
He makes me mad for some reason. I don't know why. He just like
He
looks
gets-
like.
he does the dumbest wishes.
I would just want to punch him. Like he's just like.
Yeah, that too.
He's like one of those things that like he like ruins things in the show.
Yeah.
He's just like a stupid character that's like, wow, you ruined this for everybody, and it's just like.
Well, isn't that the part? Like the
Slack.
show is like you gotta like you have the imaginary friend, so he wishes for something, and it turns out that hey, maybe don't wish for things.
That's
maybe
always
life
a
is
bad wish.
maybe
Always
life
just-
is better
he
than
always
it
does
is.
the worst thing.
Yeah.
He's a great character.
I mean, he also is like 9. We got to give him a little bit of
yeah,
credit.
come on.
Like,
He's learning as
He's
he goes.
learning.
He's learning on the job.
I think Juan Decimo is the best character
Yeah.
in the show.
He was. That's my celebrity
Nah, Timmy
crush.
Turner.
Bellissimo. I don't know what it was about him. He was just so.
I know what it is about him. You seen that guy?
His tank top that he had on.
him and Chip Skylark.
Chip
Yeah.
Skylark.
Shiny teeth and me.
I know, I have that song on my phone. All right, my number 3, going back to Phineas and Ferb, is Dr. Heinz Doofenshmirtz.
Let's go.
He is by far the best character on that show, I would say. Like they just give him they give him backstory. They give him like you said, you love him, but he's supposed to be evil, and you feel bad for him. He just wants to be a good dad for Vanessa, and he's trying to do everything. And the fact that it's so funny that he's not trying world domination, it's tri-state area domination. It's like so sad. When it's like the way he speaks and the songs that he has.
He always has like a really sad. His backstory is sad. It's just
Yeah.
like makes you feel bad for him.
His father used to make him be a garden
Garden
gnome.
gnome.
Oh, I remember that.
Poor Bluey.
He had a balloon that was
His
his best
only friend. His only friend.
Yeah, he is so high up there, and actually, now that I'm thinking about it, now that we've talked about it, it's a crime to put him this low.
Hey, he should be number
Even
1.
even 4 is even more of a crime.
You're right. You're right. Number 2. I had to put one classic cartoon character on there, and I think this is the guy that like, growing up, I loved the most. And that's Bugs Bunny. You can't hate on a good Bugs Bunny.
Absolutely.
I feel like I put him a little high, but that's just because I remember I used to Space Jam, whatever. Such a good movie. Just watching the old classic, him and Daffy Duck and all of them, all the Looney Tunes shows growing up. It was great. And then I had the video game too. It's one, I don't know what it was, but it was a cool video game.
He was like the first character that was sort of like this sarcastic,
Yeah.
satirical character that like paved the way.
The anti-Mickey Mouse, if you like.
Yeah.
He was the everything Mickey Mouse wasn't, and
Yeah.
that's what made everyone love him. Gotta
He's
love
a
a good
great
Bugs
character.
Bunny.
Yeah, he's great. It's a great number 2, actually.
My number 2 is Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory.
Did they?
What are you doing in my laboratory? Literally. He's so like. That's another. He's like an evil character, low key, but it's
Yeah.
not like he's just like he always has good ideas and he's always fixing things, but making it worse at the time.
Yeah.
It's like
Is his nemesis Mojo Jojo?
No, that's the Power
That's
Puppets.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's Do you remember that volcano episode or something to where they're that laboratory in the volcano?
Yeah. Mhm.
That was a good episode.
Yeah, I always catch myself doing that, just random times.
DD.
Did they?
Oh,
What are you doing in my laboratory?
It's a good character.
I do it all the time. Like, it's actually embarrassing to admit how many times I do that.
It's just like a wholesome show. It's
Yeah.
just really like
It's really good.
it's one of those things that you can relate to is like if you had like an annoying brother or annoying sister. It's like one of those things that like
yeah.
you would hate Dee Dee. It's just like it's like what like it's almost like what are you doing in my room? Like why are you in my laboratory?
Yeah.
Like
She was the worst. Might be
She was
if
just
we have
ruined
the
it. Yeah, that's-
top 5 worst
she's
cartoon
number
characters,
one.
she's number 1. Oh my gosh, she's so annoying. It's a
What
good.
about Dinkelberg?
Okay, maybe you're right. Dingleberg. Yeah.
Oh, my number 2 was actually my number 1 until I switched it. Just literally 15 minutes before we started. Actually, that guy wasn't even on my list. My number 1 wasn't even on my list until. Yeah.
Whoa.
But my number 2, Patrick from SpongeBob. I mean, he's the man. Like, SpongeBob is such an iconic like cartoon that like you have to have somebody on there, and Patrick is the best character,
Funny guy
by far. He's like, is this the Krusty Krab? No, this is Patrick. Like that's like, come on.
He's like one of those characters that's so dumb that you have to like him.
You love
he's
him.
just like, he reminds you of like that friend that you have that's really like, we can't say any names, but he's that friend that you have that's really dumb, but you still love him.
We all have one.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna skip you real quick because Patrick Star is my number 1.
I respect
So
Patrick Star is my number 1.
Respect.
Patrick Star is my number 1.
He's the best. Dude.
how do you? And he was your number 1.
He was, but then
So,
I saw something.
You saw.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, just
By far.
the amount of, because you brought up the, oh, this is Patrick, like the amount of just stupid but funny things that he has is amazing.
He lives
How
under a rock.
The episode where he's like trying to find the lid and he's like, the lid.
Oh my god.
And then, oh my god, there's just so many you can name, like you can't even.
Yeah. He makes me laugh way more than SpongeBob ever did.
He's so funny.
Oh,
I knew my number 1 had to be a SpongeBob.
Oh,
Because that was the other show. It was going to be him and SpongeBob were going to be on my list with a bunch of Foster's Home characters, right up there.
Oh yeah.
But
He's playing the drums.
I had to pick one, and I had to pick Patrick.
It's Patrick.
He's so funny.
I got that for 50 cents at a thrift shop.
All right, so then you're number 2, and then I guess you're number 1, and that's all we got left, right?
My number 2, Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty.
Rick.
It's Rick.
Rick.
It's Rick. Rick is. I love Rick and Morty. I think it's done in such a amazing way. Like, if you actually like just watch it, you're like, this show's so stupid. But if you actually like sort of like pay attention to it, it's done really well. And Rick is, he's very, I don't know, specific about like the things he says, and you know, he just doesn't care, but is so smart and just has clapbacks like that. I love it. Way more than Morty, even though Morty is funny. Rick is just an all-around sick character.
It's one of those shows where you have to have like a dumb sense of humor to understand it.
Yeah.
And that's like, people like don't understand South Park too. It's like you have to have that like stupid sense of humor to be like, wow, this is actually kind of funny.
Yeah, there's also a level of like intelligence that it
Yeah.
also brings.
Yeah.
And it's such a weird concept, but
I would say everybody on my list was from a kid's cartoon, but if I had to pick one character from like a mature cartoon, it would be someone from Rick and Morty. That's probably my favorite adult cartoon.
And also like the way that the characters like improvise, and it's just like Rick just burps halfway through a sentence. It's like that's so stupid, but it's so funny. But yeah, then my number 1 was Patrick, which was already said. Skip.
Mine was Patrick, so I guess it's your
One in my
your one. Your guys' one. Yep.
You got a great number 1. I hope you guys can all appreciate this number 1. Johnny Test.
Johnny.
Oh,
The
yeah.
coolest dude I have ever. I've always
He
wanted
also
to
like
be
a
like him.
laboratory as well.
But he's one of those dudes that would always create those sweet inventions to where it's like, wow, this is really helpful.
Yeah, I used to
He
watch that
never
show all the
created
time.
any problems.
I was
Never.
close to putting a Johnny on my list, but it wasn't Test.
It was Johnny Bravo.
It was Johnny Bravo.
He's also another one of my idols.
I was close to putting Bravo on my list, but
I wish I could pull girls like him. He's just so like, he's so smooth with it. He's just Johnny Bravo. Like he's just wow.
he is Johnny Bravo. But Johnny Test, that's one I didn't even think about. But yeah, that's a
Johnny Test is very cool, and his dog. His dog
Yeah.
is like up there with him too.
That was one of the theme shows that was so catchy. Like, Johnny Test.
I'm about to listen to that in my car. I'm about to.
that's
That's a good sleeper
And
pick.
you didn't
Shiny
expect it.
Teeth and Me is also a good song.
I mean,
I
obviously.
have that one.
That's like one of those I can sing word for word, and people are like, "How do you know that?"
Yeah,
Just
me as well.
Shiny Teeth and
I
Me.
scream it.
That's a yeah. I think you put it best. That's a sleeper pick right there, though.
Yeah.
Johnny Test.
This one, number one,
Here we go.
is pretty nostalgic. It's like when I was a little kid, he was the best cartoon to me, and I even had him in the little action figure. And every time that I would lose him, as a 3-year-old, little Sam would walk around and be like, "Where's my damn Woody?" It's Woody from Toy Story.
Wow.
Woody.
Woody from Toy Story
thought it
is
was
so amazing. No, it is. Shrek is great.
No Shrek on any list.
The reason,
I did think about it, but I was like, it's a bit weird.
yeah, Shrek is great. I just it wasn't good enough to be on the list. But Woody, he's the best. He's a cowboy. He's got a snake in his boot. He's awesome. All he wants to do is be played by his old college owner.
I mean, depending on the episode.
Okay.
Depending on the chain.
His owner
His owner.
gets older.
I think it was Toy Story 2, but when he sort of gets like ripped and that doll maker finds him, and
Yeah.
like,
Scene.
that scene is so cool when he
Yeah.
polishes his boot,
Uh-huh.
his eye. You're laughing.
I've never seen that before, but it sounds funny.
It's really cool. Like it really like
The detail in it.
One of
Yeah.
the best scenes in cinematic history. My other one, which fun fact for you guys, that I will die on this hill. That the best scene in cinematic history is in Kung Fu Panda, when Tai Lung escapes from prison.
Why was Kung Fu Panda not on anybody's list?
Yeah.
I did. I
No Cars
That
characters.
scene when he catches
I
that
didn't even-
rice
guys,
with
we
his
still have honorable
chops.
mentions.
Okay, yeah, no more. Go back to
We
your
need,
story.
we need honorable mentions.
I mean, if you don't have any,
Hey,
you can
it's
just
fine,
think of
it's
some.
fine.
Yeah.
But go back to you.
What?
The scene. What happened in the scene?
Oh,
I don't know.
So there's like a messenger that comes to the prison. Have you ever seen it?
I've seen the movie, but I can't.
But like
I
the
can't
prison
think of
is like a super big prison on like a mountain, and his cell is like all the way down at the bottom, and like dug out all the way, and he's got chains on his arms and his legs, and he's just like darkness, and there's nothing he can do. And then there's a messenger that comes, and like one of the rhinos like slaps him, and one of his feathers slowly drifts down right next to Tai Lung. And he gets it, and he like flings his tail, and then like uses the feather to like unlock his chains, and then he like escapes the prison. Dude,
I gotta watch it.
listen,
I gotta watch it.
I can't do it justice.
Okay, I
Just my
understand.
words.
I understand. I'm gonna have to watch it. I
We'll
will
watch
watch it. I ask that everybody watches it just to visualize what's going on in your
One
brain.
of, if not the best scenes in cinematic history.
Watch that and the Toy Story 2 scene.
Yeah.
those two.
All right.
All right.
Let's go through honorable mentions, baby.
Honorable mentions. I got mine right here. First one is the one that I think is also on your list. Actually, yeah, we'll do that
Want to
first.
say it at the same time?
Yeah, do it as
3, 2, 1.
Cheese. Do you guys know Cheese?
It's
Yeah.
from Foster's Home.
Foster's Home. Oh my
Flat
gosh.
mouth.
He just when he got the horse, he goes.
Dude,
It's so funny.
he's like mac and cheese.
Oh my
You
What was
god.
that thing to where like it gets flooded with chocolate milk or something? What was it? Didn't like the whole house get flooded with chocolate milk?
There's
That
a lot
was
to
so
have.
funny.
There's the one where he's like, he puts the lipstick on. He's like, I'm a pretty lady. And he kisses thing. He's like, now we're both pretty ladies. Oh, what a character. I went with him. A similar character, like that kind of like stupid funny. I went with Fred Fredberger from The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Yes, Fred Burger.
got the-
I saw him.
He's like, I want that hammer thingy. He's in court. Oh, what a character. And then
He's so funny.
the last one I put was Cat Dog, which is technically 2 characters, but I'm counting it as one.
Cheating.
They're one.
Cheating,
They're
yeah,
one.
you added extra.
Good
Yeah,
picks.
let's see.
Great picks.
I gotta
love
think
it.
of them off the top of my head. I would say one of them is Coco from
Oh.
Imaginary Friends.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
see, what else?
Coco's.
Coco's
I
a
used
good
to,
character.
as weird as it sounds, I used to like pick things up with my toes
I still
and
do.
act like I was Coco. And
Tell
be
me
like,
just another hand.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Come back to me in a minute.
Yeah,
Alright.
Yeah.
You're fine.
My honorable mentions, you said him already, Eric Cartman. He's funny. He's the best part of South Park, I
Yep.
believe. Major from Cars. You
Oh,
said nobody
nice.
went Cars. I threw him on there.
Nice, Mater.
Mater's
Sure.
amazing. And then finally, from Finding Nemo, Dory.
Oh, gotta love Dory.
What
Dory's
about
the
from
best.
Finding Dory?
Yeah, she's from Finding Nemo first.
True.
What do you got?
That's a good point. So I had Cheese. I had Jake the dog from Adventure Time.
good one.
great. It was actually really hard to pick between those two, but Jake just having like his weird eyes and his weird voice is so funny. And then Ed from Ed, Edd n Eddy.
My sister wanted me to put Ed on there.
Ed is. I was gonna put Johnny and Plank.
Plank is sweet.
I've actually painted Plank before.
Yeah.
I wish I had the picture I could show you guys, but it's very good.
But if I had to pick anyone, I would pick Ed.
When I was a kid, I found just a 2x4 sitting in our garage, and I used to sleep with it. And say it was.
I didn't do that.
I never
Hold
painted
up.
it. Like it's a piece of wood, and I used to sleep with it and
my
say
God.
it's Plank.
He
You
probably
look like
woke up
Johnny.
with splinters in his arm every night.
Yeah, probably. I used to also sleep with a vacuum cleaner that was it's not a cartoon, but Teletubbies. They had that vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
I used to sleep with. I had a plastic vacuum cleaner. I used to sleep with.
Lord.
So from Ed, Edd n Eddy, that is probably one of the shows that there's like you see cartoons and then they have like food and you're like that looks so good. And from Ed, Edd n Eddy, the only thing I ever wanted in life was to have one of those big jawbreakers that were bigger than my head,
Yeah.
and that would like.
It would stick outside
That
of
was,
their mouth.
and they would just like
Absolutely.
drool over.
They would always be fighting over how to get them or finding money to get them.
Oh
That's
my
like I feel
gosh.
like that's like a kid too. When you're a kid, you're always trying to figure out ways
That's
to buy candy.
That's what that show was built around. Was just trying to get
You know,
those jawbreakers.
When I finally had one, I was so underwhelmed about how it's just like it's this big and it's
like a golf ball.
Whatever.
But you can buy some that are that big.
Yeah.
There's Frankenmuth up in it's like right around here. They would sell jawbreakers that were like bowling balls. I feel like that's like probably what they're based off
How'd you
of.
fit that in your mouth?
You gotta
you
practice.
just gotta lick
I'll
it.
show you. I'll show you.
All right.
Any more
Do you have
honorable
any
mentions?
Do you have any?
I would say when you mentioned I would say Ice King.
He's so funny.
He's a very good character. He's another one that you feel bad for because all he's trying to do is find a wife.
That's right.
And it's like everyone's always beating up on him and trying to like make him look bad, but really he's just like trying to find that one perfect lady to have as his wife and give her the world, but everyone thinks he's some bad dude that's trying to steal princesses. It's like the show Bachelor or like Bachelorette when he has a bunch of those like it's like you're always trying to find that one perfect person, but it's like they always come and just beat him up and then take the princesses from him. It's like just let him have his game show.
Yeah.
Like he's just trying to find his wife.
So
No one mentioned Courage the Cowardly Dog. That's a good one.
yeah,
He's a coward.
there was
You're right, actually.
there was one show that I wanted to add, but I didn't. I don't know if anybody else watched it. It is The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Captain Knuckles. I wanted to
Knuckles is
add. I
a-
didn't
I
know
like-
if or Flapjack would be on or Bubby, but
I like the whale. She's
Yeah.
cool.
We used to watch that down here.
that show it was so. And I think I just recently watched it like not too long ago.
I can't believe nobody had Pokemon on there.
No Pokemon.
I was going to, but I didn't really watch the anime.
And
much.
yeah, I
But
played the
I'm
game.
I'm so big in Pokemon, but like, who am I gonna put Ash? Like, I'm not that
Yeah.
attached to Ash. Where I don't really watch the anime.
Yeah.
Or
It'd
am
be
I gonna
Brock,
pick one of
if
his
anything.
Pokemon?
Or Pikachu. Pikachu's pretty sweet.
A lot of great characters. So those are our lists. So we're gonna put them all on the socials. We're gonna need you guys to vote as to which one, or out of us, who had the best list, and then also make sure that you put yours in the comments or post them and share it to us any way you can. But overall, I think that was a pretty good list.
Yeah, I think we all had pretty good ones.
Yeah, that was a solid harvest.
Solid.
Solid harvest, baby.
That was a lot of cream to crop.
Yeah. Not only did we have a great cream of the crop, but we had a great interview here with Ethan. We want to thank you for coming on. We're going to move on to our last segment. That is Song of the Week. Skip, what's your song
Am I
of the week?
starting?
You said you had some trouble with it. Let's hear it.
I did
then.
have some trouble with it, and I came to the one solution, the one song that it had to be. And you guys are gonna hate me, and I'm sorry. And I don't want to ruin the playlist, but I have to do this. The song of the week is a little ditty that I'm sure you've heard of called "All I Want for Christmas" by Mariah Carey.
Dude, it's
I
November.
did not think that's what you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say the TikTok song.
Nope,
I
guys.
thought he was too.
It is.
I love that pick.
It
I
is-
love that pick.
November 1st was Monday.
Absolutely.
And starting from Monday to today, it has been nothing but Christmas music, okay? It is officially Christmas season.
That's right.
I haven't
It's
heard one
season,
Christmas
yeah,
song.
but it doesn't mean you gotta do Christmas music.
Here's the thing. by December 1st, the song is going to be so overplayed and so annoying anyways that you might as well do it yourself. So just start ingesting.
You can't have Christmas season without Christmas music.
Just start ingesting all the Christmas music you can now, because if you don't, then you're not going to listen to it, but you're still going to hear it on like the radio and over the speakers at the stores. And then when Christmas does come around, you're already going to be annoyed with it. So just make it annoying already. I've listened to it like 7 times this week.
Oh my God.
Everywhere I go.
Hey, I respect
You're worse
it.
than Megan.
I respect it.
It's a good song too. It just gets hate because it's overplayed. Great song.
She makes a lot of money off of that song.
I'm
though,
sure
I'll tell
she
you
does.
She does, yeah.
I'm trying to. She can be my sugar mama. Every Christmas, I'm trying
Every
to find where you
Like,
at.
yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
You got one, Logan?
I do. It's from a band that I don't think you guys will know too much about. It's King's Kaleidoscope is the band. Very good music. I like a lot of their songs. It's called Safe Retreat. It's a pretty powerful song. Pretty good. I think
got
they
a
do
good
well.
message.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Good tune.
Very catchy. So, Safe Retreat by King's Kaleidoscope. And I also think that's a pretty cool name.
That is a sweet name.
Kaleidoscope, yeah.
Isn't that like what you look through and like you see all the...
Yeah.
Cool.
There's a song by
Cool.
what's it? All Time Low. It's like called Melancholy Kaleidoscope or
So by
something.
AGR?
No, it's by All Time Low. I like that song too. But my song of the week, yeah, I heard it on the radio over the weekend when I was in Iowa, and I was like, heard it like a little birdie. I was like, oh, dude, I like that song. And then when I got back home on Sunday, I played it 18 times in my car, and then I did it on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, and I do it every time I get in my car. If I Didn't Love You by Jason Aldean and Carrie Underwood.
I
That's
was
it.
sitting, it was me and Lily, we were sitting in my living room, and I was going through Instagram stories, and I saw you posted that. I turned to her, I said, hey, this is going to be a song of the week, I guarantee
Absolutely.
it. You spoiled it for me.
Oh,
I mean, I
great.
guess I didn't think about it now, but you spoiled it, because I saw it, and I was like, there's the song of the week.
It's a great song. It's amazing. I think it's his best song that he does with a girl.
No.
Yeah.
Better than...
Yep.
No.
Yep.
I don't,
Uh-huh.
The fact that
Yep.
you said that makes me want to... Like, you didn't have to say that. You could have said it was a great song.
because I knew this would happen.
But the fact that you said that
It's
is
better.
disgusting, and it's an embarrassment.
Sam's just trying to be the black sheep.
He's the
Oh
black
my
sheep of the show.
No, it's better than the one with Kelly Clarkson.
Don't even say that.
Yeah, it is.
You're just lying, and the fact that you're lying, it hurts me. It really hurts me.
They're both great songs, but I think this song is better than the one with
Not
Kelly
even a
Clarkson.
little bit close. It's not even half the song that is.
Yeah, okay.
You're done. Ethan, give us a song.
I'm hoping you guys know this. It's Heartbreak Anniversary by Giveon.
I've never heard
It's
it.
an R&B. Do you listen to R&B? No? Cool.
No.
All right.
But hey,
Heartbreak
Hey, put it on your
Anniversary.
playlist.
Hey, it's on the playlist.
yeah,
Adding it to the playlist.
And we're gonna listen to it.
It's
I'm
gonna
gonna
come
listen
on
to it.
right after All I Want for Christmas.
Ethan, you're breaking a lot of records tonight. First outside podcast to interview. First guest cream. First guest song.
Yeah.
We can't let him win, because if he wins Best Cream, what does that mean for us?
Oh, that's
The
awful.
best cream.
We've had practice at
I
this.
know how to crop some cream. Let me
You might
tell
need, you might need to take my spot.
I'm gonna have to make sure, because I've never heard yours. I've never heard yours. I'm gonna end up listening to the Kelly Clarkson song instead. But I'll listen to both yours.
You're wrong.
on my way home. Shut your mouth.
You've definitely heard Heartbreak Anniversary.
You think I have? Okay.
Absolutely wrong.
Well, if I have, I'm still gonna listen to
I'm
it.
sure
on the,
all of you have.
I'm still gonna listen.
You just don't know what the song is.
That probably not. Yeah.
All right, I think that does it. You know,
Great show, guys.
it's a great one. It's a good one. Best one.
Yeah, and just a reminder, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Like, comment, like we said. Comment. We want you to dive deeper. Comment your favorite scene in cinematic history this week, please. Just want to say thanks again to our guest Ethan
Yeah,
for coming
thank
out
you,
here.
Ethan.
It was a
That was
blast.
a great guest to have.
So were
I
you-
appreciate him coming on.
What a guy.
Were you intimidated by the cream?
No, I think
The cream comforted, didn't
Yeah,
it?
it was
It's what it
cool.
does. It's what it
I
does.
was like, wow, I have some really good ideas, and I was like, Johnny Test is number one because I rewatched the show maybe like a few months ago. Like, I'm almost 23 years old and I'm still watching Johnny Test, so
Right.
it's like that's a great pick to have.
Yeah.
What a show.
Well, tell them where they can follow you at.
You can follow me on Instagram at Wagner Ethan, TikTok Wagner Ethan, and I don't really use Twitter, but
Wagner, Ethan, probably,
It's
right?
probably
Yeah.
Ethan Wagner.
We'll have it displayed
Somewhere.
And it's gonna be in the
Some-
description
somewhere.
too.
Yeah, make sure
You'll
to
find
check
it.
out Ethan. Look at it. Look at all of his content. Really good work. Give him a follow, and yeah.
You can follow us.
Yeah, give us follows too,
Yes.
as well.
At
We're not as interesting.
Spoons, baby.
Hey, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
Ethan, this is
We
where
gotta
we do
Yeah, Ethan, we got it. Oh,
all high five together. We all gotta get ready.
How's this gonna
We're
work?
hit in the face.
3, 2, 1.
That was amazing.
That was a good one.
Perfect.